And then in the other game, we like the dog and or the under in the game. Actually, I think it went down to 45.5, the over under. So it's definitely a defensive struggle, which is what we're expecting. In the other game, probably a little more offense. Mahomes is healthier and they still don't have a defense. Cincy will know they need to score. So definitely should be in the definitely should get into the 40s. I got 31-20 Cincinnati and 2017 San Francisco. That's my look on it. No real key injuries that we don't know about that weren't already there. So Kelsey says he's got a back and he's questionable. I don't know what that popped up, but he did practice Friday. He's not going to miss the game. The question is, does he get hurt in the game? Is it too much? And we will see. But so nothing new that we didn't already talk about. So again, I like the Niners 20-17 in a low scoring game with Philly. And again, I like Cincinnati 31-20. It was Cincinnati being the free pick. I just like it. I just think their defense is too much, and I don't think you're going to stop Burrow. Mahomes is stoppable without Tyreek Hill. It's just not the same. It's a good offense, and you got Mahomes, and we get that. But then you had Marino and you had Dan Fouts, and they didn't do. You got to win with the defense, not the quarterback. So, excuse me. My tailbone's hurting today for some reason, or the bottom of my back. Been on and off, depending on what position I'm in. It was fine all morning. I get up, and now it's a little bit. Seems like a nerve issue more than anything else. I don't know. Getting old. I'll hot tub it today. I'm fine walking and going on the bike and in the pool. Sometimes it hurts. Sometimes it doesn't when I run. Jesus. All right. So more of the story is you don't get old. Get old and starts getting pains, aches and pains. This is different than my foot. My foot was swollen. I don't think my back's swollen. Anyway, so that's the 2 football. Again, the Niners 20-17, which should be a low-scoring game with these defenses, and that's how we're judging it. 2 strong defense. Where are they going to get all these points? I mean, the defense can stop you more than the offense can keep putting. The offense isn't going to light it up. Taken from the Kansas-Iowa State game and half these Iowa State games and half the Washington State games and Iowa, you just see they just shut you down. You don't score a lot on them. And or Georgia, Tennessee. Tennessee puts up 50 on Alabama, plays Georgia, puts up, 26-13 or something like that. So the defense can shut you down, and you got to be aware of it. Hey, Chris, are the Bengals the best team to bet to win the Super Bowl? Well, I don't know. I'd have to see the odds. I would say they're not a clear-cut favorite over whoever wins the Frisco-Philly game because of the defenses. I don't know that I'd bet it like that, but I think it'll be Cincy and Frisco, but I don't know that. Of course, Burrow and Chase are really unique in that Chase gets open and he has such strength and moves that it's very hard to stop him. Hey, Eric, it's very hard to stop him. So, that's what gives him the edge. But I guess I would look at the odds of San Francisco, Philly, and I would assume the Philly odds are better because they're at home today, but I don't think that really matters in this game. I don't think home field's going to matter today. It's the defenses that matter. The 85 Bears, you couldn't even get a first down on them. So that's kind of what you look at. Excuse me. The 70s Steelers, the Jimmy Johnsons, and, you know, the real good defensive team shut you down. And not that Cincy's got that, but I think Frisco and Philly, Frisco is the best defense in the league. So, Chris, I would look at the odds on Frisco and Cincinnati, but really I would just bet the games. I would just bet the Super Bowl the way it comes in. Again, I don't know what the odds are to win the Super Bowl at this point. Early in the year, yeah, take Cincinnati or, Frisco, you wouldn't have been on the radar. Philly gets on the radar after about 5 or 6 weeks when you realize they're pretty good. I think at the end of the day, it's whoever you got to give the edge to Frisco on the defense. Philly does blitz a lot, but again, Philly's got the most sacks, but Frisco's got McCaffrey and Samuel, so they can easily just dunk these little passes out there real quickly and nullify the pass. That's something that nullify the blitz. That's something the Giants couldn't do because they don't have a quarterback. This is where you struggle with the running quarterback against a team like Philadelphia or Frisco or Cincinnati. You got to get rid of it real quick. You can't hold the ball like Jones was doing last week. But the Giants really had no answer. They don't, their running back, Shaquille Barkley. Shaq Barkley is really a good, between the tackles running back. I don't know. He's not like a McCaffrey where you can just swing it to him and he'll gain 20 yards for you. So that's the big difference. Frisco's kind of got a neutralizer for their big sack total of Philly. So I think that's what you look at, getting the ball out real quickly and, taking away their strength. That's what you try to do. Hey, you're out, Ryan. I wonder if they're going to rig the Bengals-Chiefs game for the Mahomes and the Chiefs. I think the NFL wants Mahomes and Burrow back, going back and forth for the next 10 years. I don't think so. I mean, if you take – I got Cincinnati, and I tease it, so I got 7.5. I'm not worried about that. I don't know that when you rig a game – you're rigging Kansas City 9.5 over Jacksonville, right? And what you're saying is you can win, but you can't win by 9. You can only win by like 7 or less, which is exactly what they did. That's how you rig a game. You can't rig Cincinnati to lose. They're the dog. You can only rig the favorite not to score. As far as saying, well, we want Cincy in over Burrow, I question that. Burrow's very popular, superstar, as is Mahomes. Since he beat him last year, I don't know. I don't know. I think you would have wanted Josh Allen again. You would have wanted Buffalo KC if you're really trying to fix it for audience or whatever, but I don't think that's the case. So I really doubt that that's an issue. Again, when you rig the favorite. You can't cover. So like Buffalo, Miami, laying 13, you can win, but not by 13. They win by 3, and then we find out Buffalo really sucks anyway. But that's more what it is. Since he didn't cover against Baltimore, only a 9.5, but then you had Dallas covering as a 2.5-point favorite against Tampa. So I think they want you might get a few bad calls by the refs, which is totally within the realm, but I don't see them going. This isn't wrestling where Hulk Hogan's going to lose to Ric Flair, and then you guys figure out how you're going to do it, but make sure Ric Flair wins. I mean, I don't think the NFL's that as bad as wrestling in the fact that this is who we want to win, or like Bret Hart. where he had to lose in Montreal and he didn't like it because it was in Canada. You know, how about if I lose next week when it's not in Canada? But that happens in wrestling, but I don't think it happens in pro football. I don't think they do that. So again, Chris, get the odds, and then I don't know. I still would just bet the games individually. You know, I'm giving you the Niners 20-17, so probably a low scoring, and then Cincinnati, KC. I like the dogs. I like KC -1.5. I like Burrow getting 7.5. So I mean, that's how I like it, and then we'll see what the lines are for the Super Bowl and who's in it. But why bet 7? You know, you're not going to get odds. You might get a little because since he's at KC, but I don't know. CKC is now -2.5. Well, they're all over. They're 1.5s, 2s. That doesn't matter. You know, so Mahomes looks okay. I'll take Cincinnati all day with the points. Keep in mind, this line went from KC -1.5 to Cincinnati -2. Now it's 2.5. So I'm not really worried. And how many casinos is that at where it's 2.5, right? So if I look at my odds, so let's see. You gotta you gotta be curious and conscious of all the different sports books. So Philly 2.5. So I see 3s at a couple, and then some 2.5s and 3s, and then I see 1.5. KC 2.5, 2.5. You know, that's at FanDuel, and then 2 and 2 and 2 and 2 and a 1.5 and a 2 and a 2. So we can make it 2.5. I'm not aware of any injuries. It's probably Kelsey going from questionable to probable. We take a look at Cincinnati injured. We know the linemen are out, and we know the center is going to play. So there's really nothing new as far as anybody getting injured on Cincy. And then Kelsey's still here listed as questionable. But that's about it. So it doesn't really matter. Are you worried? Like, why did KC go up? All you need to do is look at last week's when Buffalo went from 5.5 to 6, and we had Cincinnati, and Cincinnati won by 20. So, am I worried about that? Not at all. So I like. I changed my total, my ringtone. So I'm not, unless Mahomes was out, and this probably would go a lot more. All right, sorry about that. So I don't see over under in Bengals game seems low. I think it should be more around 54. Yeah, I got 48.5. Let's see the other casinos. Forty-eight and a half. There's a 47.5 and some 48s. Well, I think with Mahomes, I think the key to the over/under in this game is the defense of KC. Cincinnati should score a lot. That's why I like Cincy is the dog. However, if we look at, it's funny, my back feels better now, so I don't know. When we look at, so I think it's a nerve, and if I just am the wrong way, the nerve gets intense, and then when I sit a different way, it feels fine, like right now. So the weakest point of this game is Kansas City defense. So Cincinnati should score a lot. So I got 31-20, which is a 51, and if you tease the 48, you're over 42, which to me is 24-20, which is not, with Mahomes, they should score more. But keep in mind, Cincinnati just crushed Buffalo, right? 27-10. When's the last time Buffalo with Josh Allen at home put up 10 points? Now, you can say, well, it snowed, but I'll take you to the Miami game where they won 32-29 in the snowstorm. So the snow's not a big deal to me. The wind is, but Burrow hit 27 points. So it couldn't have been that bad, or it would have been 13-10. So that's the only problem I have with the over in the game is Cincinnati's defense. You cannot ignore they held Josh Allen to 10 points. Josh Allen they're one of the top offensive teams in the league at around 29, 30 points at Buffalo. So you can't ignore that. Cincinnati's defense has been giving up 18 a game on this 11-game winning streak. So that's why I like Cincinnati. They got the better defense. They got Joe Burrow and Chase. Yes, they got Mahomes. So it's a counter. So, okay, quarterbacking's even. I got Chase. You don't. You got Kelsey. But my defense is a lot better than you. And that's why I just don't see this game getting out of hand. If it does, it's Cincinnati doing it. That's why I like Cincy as the dog. It makes more sense. You get more than a touchdown with Joe Burrow. You got to take it. Allen has a good arm and can run, but he is such a knucklehead. Well, that's what I've been saying since he was drafted. You go to my draft video, I really bitch him out. No, Mahomes is the better quarterback, but I'm saying not too many teams hold Allen to 10 points. That's my point. Yes, he's a knucklehead, and he doesn't know how to read a blitz, as I have pointed out 1,000 times. That's what I don't like about him. Everybody likes because he can throw the ball 100 yards, which doesn't matter if you throw it to the wrong team. That stupid interception against Miami where he just threw it down to the goal line, and his guy was nowhere near it, and Miami intercepted, which turned the whole game around. But I just see well, I just see Cincinnati as such a strong dog here. And keep in mind, Cincinnati is 15-0 as a dog the last 2 years. You can't forget that. Plus, they're 10-0 as a road dog. And Kansas City is 8-0 against as a home favorite. So that, for no other reason, gives me Cincinnati. Now you can say, well, can you use the trend? Yeah, I can, because Burrow has now been there 3 years. Mahomes, we know, has been there 5 years. So, yes, I can use the trend. Where I know in a lot of other cases, it's the new coach, it's a new quarterback, we can't use the trend. Here we can, and it just shows you Cincinnati, they're on a roll, and they just beat Buffalo, and they beat Baltimore and put up 24 on that defense. So you're not blowing out Cincinnati, and that's how you have to look at it. What is the best scenario to bet here? And the best scenario is take the dog in the Cincy KC game. And I would say take the dog in the Frisco Philly game. You get skewed because Philly beat the Giants. And you go, wow, what a defense. And look at Hurts. And they ran it down their throats. The Giants defense is a 22. They give up 22 a game. The Niner defense gives up 16. This is just like Dallas, Tampa, and everybody's jumping on Dallas, and I couldn't believe the line was 3.5. My line was 10, and they win it by 7, but it was up 10, and they kicked a late field goal, I believe. Or no, it was 19-12. I still think they kicked a field goal. Anyway, you got to get that out of your mind. They're not playing the Giants. They are playing Frisco. They're playing the best defense in the league. Ask Tennessee about putting up 50 on Alabama, and then here comes Georgia, and they get 16, I think. I think it was 26-16. It was like 26-6 most of the game, and Georgia put them to sleep. And where was Hooker? Great against Alabama, but then he played a real defense, Georgia, and they just put him to sleep. And that's what I'm saying. So you can look at the Dallas-Tampa game, but it's not true. And you look at the Giant-Philly game, and it's the Giants who don't have a quarterback, who don't have, they got Barkley, kind of like McCaffrey. McCaffrey kind of goes out a little bit more. He's a different back. But then you got Deebo Samuel. The Giants don't have anybody close to that. And you got Ayuk and Kittle, and the Giants don't have anybody close to that. And Purdy's much better quarterback than Jones, as he's showing. They'll run the ball a lot on Philly. Philly gets 75 sacks, but how are they against – if I just pounded into them? And I think what I would do is if I was Shanahan, I would have won a couple of Super Bowls by now. If I was Shanahan, I never would have lost the Atlanta one. I would just run it down their throat and play defense. The strength of my team is not Brock Purdy. It's my defense, the number one defense that gives up 16 a game. So I'm just running and playing Navy football. I'm going to just run it, and then punt it and play field position and let my defense get some turnovers like they did again. Well, last week, that was easy against Prescott. I mean, he'll give the Lions 2 interceptions. So that's what you got. So play to your strength, play to your defense. Philly's got a great defense also. So that's why I like the game under, because I think Philly does the same thing. Hurts wants to run. You think he's going to run on this defense? This defense, the linebackers are faster than Hurts. I know the secondary is, and even probably the defensive ends. Look at Bosa. I bet Bosa's faster than Hurts. So where Hurts likes to run, I don't see him being able to run. I think Bosa keeps him in the pocket, and then they just go after him. And maybe they don't blitz a lot, but they'll keep a safety on him possibly. And I'm not afraid of Smith and Brown in this game. They handled CeeDee Lamb and whoever else Dallas has. But that's not the concern. Hurts is not a Tom Brady, a Rodgers, a Mahomes, a Burrow. He's not like that. So therefore, he wants to run. And we see what running quarterbacks do in the playoffs. Absolutely nothing. So, yeah, they ran a lot. But keep in mind, Hurts still has a bad shoulder. He's a long way from being healthy just because he played. And I think it's the left shoulder. He's still banged up. So will he go the whole game? Ryan. Cincinnati spreads them out with Burrow and shotgun. They should shred them up. Well, that's what we're basing it on, is KC's got the worst defense. So we're betting the defense in this case, and Cincinnati's is much better. Eagles-Niner game going to be a game of field position. Could come down to which quarterback makes a big mistake. Well, it depends on what coach makes the big mistake. Some idiot going for it on fourth down is going to be huge. Not what you want. I'm going to show you some videos today, short ones. Well, one's a little bit longer, but basically just to go over things like emotion and idiot play calling. I feel that that's the key part when you go for fourth down and you don't get it and you give the other team emotion. And the coaches don't understand or, get that. That's what the turnover does. That's what going on fourth down and that getting does. The emotion you get if you go 4th and 1 from your own 40 and you pick it up is nothing. You don't get emotion. You didn't do anything. You ran 4th and 1. You got it. Okay, fine. We keep the drive going as if it was a 3rd and 1. There's no emotion on getting a 3rd and 1. However, if you stop them, not only does the defense say you don't respect me, but now look how emotional the defensive side is, which carries to the offense. So I'm going to show you a tape of what happens when you disrespect the other team. That's the difference that these coaches don't get. So that's going to be the key if the Eagles or the Niners go for it on fourth. I don't think the Niners will. With that defense, you should not be going for it on with that defense, you should not be going for it on fourth down, as well as with your own defense. So Purdy doesn't really turn it over much. I'd say Hurts maybe a little bit more. Well, Hurts is what? Hurts is a whopping he's only 15-5. He doesn't throw. He runs for some touchdowns, but he's got 5 turnovers, 5 interceptions, not including the fumbles, where Brock Purdy is actually 13-4, and he didn't turn it over last week against Dallas. And this was good training because Dallas has a very similar defense to Philly. Micah Parsons and those boys. And, he wasn't great, but they won 19. They did get the scores and the good plays and the Kittle catch and all the other stuff. And he hit the guys right on the chest. I mean, he's very fucking accurate, Purdy. So from that standpoint, he just faced a really strong 20 defense, and now he's got Philly, who's basically a 20 defense. By that, I mean how many points they allow. So so it's the same defense, Dallas and Philly. And yeah, he struggled a little, but I don't think he did. It was just some plays, and then the Kittle play, and then he hit some guys Samuel right in the chest a lot. I mean, he really puts it on your chest so you can catch it and run. Where Dak Prescott throws in the ground, or the guy has to dive for the ball. That's critical because those are extra yards that you just can't get. Ryan, all of the teams that go for it on 4th and 1 at their own 30 are no longer in the playoffs. How the Chargers coach still has a job? Well, he blamed what? He blamed the offensive coordinator and the defensive linebacker coach, so he could blame his coaches. This is the problem. You want me to be loyal to you, and then you don't want to be loyal to me. You want to blame me when you fuck up. You're the head coach. At the end of the day, you have got to make the strategy for the second half. You're up 27-7. Why did you stop blitzing? You want to blame the offensive coordinator? He got you 27 points. The only blame I could give him is not running Eckler on the second time they got the ball and they had to kick a field goal. And they had it like first and goal at like the 5-yard line, and he threw 3 passes. That's what I would fire the offensive coordinator for not running Eckler twice and scoring the touchdown. And then they missed a field goal. I don't necessarily blame the offensive coordinator, but like in college, they should have scored 4. Georgia was up 38-7. They got to 60. They didn't stop. Why did San Diego, right? You got them 27-7. Why are you stopping? Why did you change your defense where the whole key to the defense was playing the receivers tight, and because all Lawrence can do is throw short little passes, and then you got off of that, and he kept dinking and dunking these 5-yard passes. What the fuck are you doing? That's the problem. If you get up enough, then they can't do that. But that's where the problem was, is the defensive coordinator and or the coach, who probably is the defensive coordinator, should have been fired for the defense in the second half. Now, the defense in the first half was great. Why would you change? Oh, I got a 27-0 lead? No, you don't. The game's 0-0 going into the second half, no matter what the score is. Ryan, coaches are using these charts. They say go for it. What happened to common sense? Well, that shows you that the coach doesn't know what he's doing. So you're hiring basically offensive-minded coaches who can, score, which I've never seen so many teams under 25 points in my life in football. But they don't know. They're morons, basically, right? So how often, like I say, how often do you see me with a chart? Never. I look at my trends, but that's smart. But I still don't bet just because of the trend. I look at the defenses and the quarterbacks and injuries and coaches and shit like that. But I don't just arbitrarily go, oh, we're gonna play, I don't know, Frisco because they're 10-0 as a road dog. Now that helps me, but that's not my decision. My decision ends up going, let's go under with the game because of the two strong defenses, and ignoring the fact that the Niners are such a strong underdog. Both underdogs today are very, very strong. I wouldn't be surprised if both of them won. But that's not the only way I look at a game. And, but but I'm at least looking at how are the 49ers as a road dog. He's just looking at a generic, it's 4th and 2, you go for it. And you're like, what the fuck is this? You've got to take into emotion, which you're not doing. So you'll enjoy this video. But that's the key to it, is figuring out, what's going on in the game. I mean, should we really look at Green Bay, Detroit, right? Fucking Green Bay had the ball at their own 30-yard line in the third quarter, and it's 4th and 1.5. What the fuck are they going for it for? Okay, I get Rodgers trying to draw them off sides, gets 5 yards. You don't hike the ball at your own 30. Then they run some stupid little jet sweep, and they lose 2 yards, and then Detroit kicks a field goal, and Detroit ends up winning because of that. But that's what they do. I mean, what the fuck? Why the Green Bay coach should be fired? The Green Bay coach is terrible. He, you got fucking Aaron Rodgers. You shouldn't lose too many games. And you should never be going on these 4th downs. So this will be interesting. But I think Rodgers leaves because he's tired of the coach. It's terrible. And Green Bay is going to be, until they get rid of that coach. And again, it's another one of these offensive coaches from LA or Frisco or the Shanahan bullshit and all that. Really, Phil, the Green Bay coach is more concerned with his hair than coaching. He doesn't even know how to coach. And you let me be one of these head coaches, and you'd see my team in the playoffs every fucking year because I'd load the defense. And good luck scoring on me. And I got an eye for it. I'd be drafting. Last year, like I keep bitching about the Lions, right? They had 3 first-round picks. So they take the kid from Michigan. And then they have 2 picks in the 20s. And they traded for the receiver from Alabama. And we know all the receivers from Alabama are always hurt. Instead, you could have had 2 Georgia defensive players because they went kind of first round, second round, all 10 of them. And you could have had both of them, and you let them go. And then the one guy in Green Bay, number 7's like a fucking superstar. So you could have had him. So you have the opportunity to get to Georgia once-in-a-generation defense, and what do you do with it? You don't take him. You take a receiver, and you didn't even play him the whole year, and he'll be nothing. He's fast. Whippy. A lot of receivers are fast. That doesn't make, that's like Josh Allen. I can throw the ball 100 yards. Yeah, well, that'll really come into play never, because you're never going to throw it 100 yards. So, yeah, a lot of the coaches are idiots. Um, they have no concept. You win with defense. And the only team I see doing that right now is Frisco and Philly. Frisco being the best at 16 a game. Cincinnati, much better defense. And you got Joe Burrow. So I would just simply fuck these Alabama, Ohio State quarterbacks. I'd go get Cam Rising or Hartman. That'd be my quarterback. And then load up on Georgia, LSU defensive players, and then say, go ahead and try to beat me because you can't. Ryan, I think Tua retires and Rodgers goes to Miami. Tua is still in concussion protocol from 4 weeks ago. Keep in mind, this is his third concussion. I doubt he was ever right after the first one. The one where it looked like he got whiplashed, where the guy swung him down and you can see his head like do that. Yeah, I thought he broke his neck, and I don't think he ever recovered from that. And then he takes another one. I think he's gone. He's always been injury prone anyway. I then never thought he should have been the third pick in the draft. But again, he went to Alabama, so everybody makes a big deal about him. I'm like, fuck, the guy's not very good. He can't read a blitz. Again, none of these guys know how to read a blitz coming out of college. It's ridiculous. What are they teaching them? The Alabama guys, they're just flood a zone and they're fast. So these guys are open against, New Mexico State and Arkansas State, guys that have no pros on them. They get into the good game against Georgia. They don't show up. How many times did I say that about Trevor Lawrence against Ohio State? He was like 10 of 25 for 80 yards and 2 picks. This is Trevor Lawrence in a big game. He folded against KC, and they don't even have a defense. Tua should retire. He won't because he's Tua and he's Alabama. He'll play another year, or somebody will want him for the PR, which I don't really. I never thought he was any good. Well, I mean, there's 3 teams that I can see Brady and Rodgers going to. You got Pittsburgh. God knows they need a quarterback. You got Baltimore, who's very close. That if they had one of these 2 quarterbacks, they'd be this week. And then Tennessee's the last one who desperately needs a quarterback. Even with Tannehill, he sucks anyway. Those are your 3 that I could see these guys going to that could make the Super Bowl, especially Baltimore and Tennessee. They got the defense and they got the running. They just need a quarterback. The Jets are getting there. Again, what kind of offensive coordinator, what kind of receivers? They're not built yet offensively, but they have a great defense. Miami, I wouldn't go to. They don't have a defense. I'm sorry. Well, you got. What would Brady do or Rodgers do with Tyreek Hill and Waddle? What are they going to do with those 2? Well, we saw what Mahomes did with Hill. They were very good, but we'll see. I think Brady goes to Tennessee, weak division, and his buddy Mike Vrabel is head coach. That's very possible, and they would win. He could just hand the ball off to Henry, and they'd have no problem scoring. I don't know if they have a tight end, but that's all he needs because he's used to Gronk. And then he needs a running back type who can just catch the ball out of the backfield like Wes Welker. That would be a good possibility. Baltimore, I don't know if they get along, but Baltimore would be a great place for either Rodgers or Brady. With that defense, if you just give them any quarterback, they're winning with Lamar. I mean, imagine if they had a real NFL quarterback. The Jets, and then Pittsburgh needs a quarterback. Believe me, they'll get rid of Pickett in a heartbeat if they could get Rodgers or Brady. Bring him on for a year. Oh, Rodgers, you got 2 or 3 years. Brady, you got probably another 2. He ain't going anywhere. He's still got that chip on his shoulder. See, when I talk about emotion, Brady's the epitome of emotion, right? Oh, you didn't draft me. I waited until the 6th round. Well, fuck all you guys. That was 20 years ago, and he's still saying fuck you. I'm not retiring. You guys didn't think I was any good. So what do you think happens on a 4th down? What do you think the defense does when you disrespect them and you go for it 4th and 2 on your own 40, the defense says, fuck you, and they kill you the rest of the game saying, oh, you don't think we're any good, huh? Okay. That's what you do. You piss them off. That's what emotion is. So you've got to be very careful about that. And these coaches are clueless. When you go for 4th down, you're disrespecting, unless it's the end of the game and you need the touchdown because a field goal won't do anything. And you're at midfield. It's 4th and 4. You're down 5 points. Okay, then you got to go for it. It's not disrespectful. But in your own 40-yard line in the second quarter, you got to be out of your fucking mind. San Diego did that at the end of the game. They were winning. They were up 2. I can't remember who they were playing, and they had the ball at their own 40, and they go for it on 4th down instead of punting the ball. There was like a minute left in the game. What the fuck were they doing? I thought we had a better chance if we kept the ball. Well, you got a defense. What the fuck? If you don't have a defense, you better get a defense. But what are you doing? And even their own players are like, what are you doing? The only team that did that made sense for this was the 75 Steelers in the Super Bowl, because the punter kept dropping the ball and had one punt blocked. And it was like, okay, the only way we can lose is we have the punt block, so we're just going to, quarterback sneak it and then let my steel curtain win the game. Okay, that made sense. Not at the time they were questioning, and then they realized he was saying, okay, defense, you're going to win the game for us. That made sense, but you had the best defense, probably one of the top 3 defenses of all time with the 85 Bears and the Ravens. So, okay, that made sense after you figured it out. You wouldn't have saw the Raiders do it. You might have saw the Dolphins do it. You never would have saw the Raiders do it. They never had that defense. They had Tatum, but they didn't really stuff you like the Steelers could have. That's what you look at. So, Ryan, I heard Harbaugh says he wants Jackson back. I don't know if he's just saying that to say it. You could have Tom Brady or Aaron Rodgers, and you want Lamar Jackson. Why? So he can throw interceptions, doesn't throw touchdowns, and always gets hurt, and is a running quarterback who can't read a defense. If Harbaugh is saying that and he means it, I'd fire the guy. This guy's out of his fucking mind unless there's something else is going on. Because am I that much smarter than Harbaugh that I can see Jackson sucks? Or, this is a pro coach. He can't see. He has no talent. I don't know. He ain't never winning with Jackson. They won one playoff game, which was a fluke. They played an injured, Tennessee team. Other than that, they don't win it. He never is healthy lately. Last 2 years, he played, 5-6 games and gets hurt. I don't know. FTF Mula. That's a new one. Who you taking today in both games? Ryan, Jackson would be good in a flag football league. Well, that's exactly right. Like Josh Allen. I mean, these guys are, they want to run too much. Josh Allen really bothers me because he doesn't slide. And he's going to he's going to get it. Like, he's hurt his elbow. He's going to really get seriously injured. Russell Wilson, Mahomes, they slide. Rodgers and Brady, if they run, they slide. You got to slide. I'm sorry. You can't take the hit. And he gives the hit. I mean, I don't know what's wrong with Josh Allen's out of his fucking mind. FTF Mula, I see you don't watch my videos, because if you did, I have talked about these games all week, and I give you the score. So, are you an Eagle fan or what's that? I'll be giving my scores in a bit. So really the key is the defense. You bet the defense, and the more I looked into it this year, the more we won and the higher my percentages, because it's all about defense. So who's the best defense today? The Niners, and then Cincinnati. Enough said. Who's the worst defense? KC. So it goes back to Dan Fouts, and it goes back to Dan Marino. And these look at San Diego. They have problems because they have a good offense. Although San Diego, I thought, had a good defense, but they just Miami and San Diego never had the good defense or the good defensive coaches, let's say. Because San Diego had a good defense. They all went to Frisco, and they were the number one defense, the defensive line. Like I think for the '84 team, the Niners had the number one defense, and it was the whole defensive line was from San Diego, and they were the number one defense. So that's the problem with Mahomes. It's all him, and they don't have the defense. They got that one defensive lineman, but okay, great, but that we'll just go around it. It's no, don't be sorry. I'm glad you found me. But I gave the score early. I can give you the scores now. I got the Niners 20-17, and I got Cincinnati 31-20. And that's how I view it today. I just that Frisco game is going to be just defensive dominated, and then they're not. KC's not going to stop Cincinnati, and Cincinnati's beat them 3 in a row. And how healthy is Mahomes? But even a healthy Mahomes couldn't beat him. Couldn't beat him last year. Couldn't beat him early this year. And you got Joe Burrow. So we'll bet Joe Burrow. You're not blowing out Joe Burrow. That ain't going to happen. Not with Chase. So as long as they're both healthy, I don't care if it's snowing or anything there, because KC really throws the ball, but the better defense is Cincinnati. So as long as you have that, that's what you're looking for. So I'm going to play this video. I'm going to play 3 videos today. I hate when this does that. You go back to YouTube, and then you go back to the beginning, and I got to scroll down. I probably need to put these in folders. I'm going to show you 3 videos. They're not too well. One's 15 minutes, but I might not show the whole thing. It's getting the concept down. God damn it. You'll like these videos. I was going through my like videos last night. There was no football, so. All right, here we go.
Not gonna lose it, I'm gonna gamble it.
Okay. This is from the Gambler movie in 1971. James Caan's The Gambler. He makes 4 mistakes here, and I will point them out. So he's playing craps. This is in Vegas. 72 Vegas. This is what it's all about. I miss this so much. So he throws 13 passes in a row at the crap table. First mistake is, why did he leave? Unless he did 7 out, which they don't show you. Now here's basketball bets he's got.
I mean, I got a wife in there. This is the way money left with brand water. Is that a promise? Straight from heaven.
Can you see this? Because I'm getting a message. It might be temporarily blocked. Let me know if you can see this. It's amazing they can pick up this, that I need to put this on my own video, I think. Anyway, let me know if you can see this. This is like a 5-minute little blurb of this. So can you see this? I'm not sure if it's blocked or not. Now here's the second mistake. He wins 12,000 on roulette. Where's he going? Why does he keep leaving? You're waiting for the streak. He finally gets it, and he's walking out. Now here, this is back rack, and you're just trying to get closest to 9, but 10 is a 0. So you're better off with 8 than 10. Nick, can you see this video? Or is this blocked? Bengals, Eagles under. Okay, well, good luck. Oh, okay, good. Because I got a little note that says your stream may be temporarily blocked, but that's good. This is the Gambler movie in 72. Okay, here's the second mistake. Why is he leaving? He just won 4 in a row. He's got his streak, and he's leaving. Yeah, it says something about copyright. But as long as you can see it, then that's all I care about. Okay, now here, this is about feel that I talked to you about. So he's up all this money, and watch what happens. I love this part. This gives you goosebumps with the music. So he's got 18. So I love that part. So he doubles the 18 because he feels it. And that's what I tell you when I feel a game. That's what I'm telling you is that I know this is going to win. I can feel it. And that's what I mean by feel it. So what does he do? The problem is he keeps leaving. He hits the roulette for $12,000 and he leaves, and he hits the blackjack 21 and then he leaves, and then he's at Baccarat and he wins 4 in a row and he leaves. You're on a streak. This is what we wait for, and he keeps leaving. Why are you leaving? Now is the time you play and play and play. So that's the thing. Is what are you doing? But that's my point about that's what you wait for is the streak. That's how you play the streak, although you don't walk away. And when you fucking double down 18 and you get to 3, which you know you're going to get, I do that at poker a lot, where I need a 3 of hearts or I need a 10 of diamonds and I get it. That's what I would do. Are we still here? You can still see me? And hear me. Just want to make sure because I still see the stream may be temporarily blocked. But anyway, okay. Thanks, Phil. So that's what you're looking for is the streak, but you're also, when I say I feel a game, the message went away, so that's good. Okay, thank you, guys. So that's the point, right? If you feel the 18, you feel the 3, and you got 21. So therefore, that's the whole feel. And I look at a game and I feel it. I felt Buffalo, Cincy last week. I felt Cincinnati was going to win. It was a lock. I locked them with San Francisco, which I felt was going to win. I told you I had trouble feeling the Philly Giant game, but I eventually took the Philly. But that's what I mean by feel and emotion, right? You've got that emotion, you've got the feel, and off you go. And that's what you're looking for. And when you get it, you just follow it. You don't fuck around. I feel this game, and that's what I'm going to do. And that was his only mistake, is he kept quitting. You got 18, you double down on blackjack and you hit it, you're leaving? No, you're not done. It's just the beginning. We're going until I lose, because if I can pick a double down 18 and beat a 20, I'm not going anywhere. My God, that's what you're waiting for. So that's the point of that. Plus, I showed you the different games. So back rack, you're trying to get closest to 9, but 10's 0. So you're better with 8 than 9. But 8s and 9s are naturals if they're dealt. Otherwise, the one hand he had 2 and the other guy had 2. Then it's closest to 9. The guy got a 5 for a 7. He got a 6 for an 8. 8 beat 7. But if you would have went to 10, then 7 beats 0. But there's really no choice. When we play at the casinos, it's all the dealer. If you have this, we're going to hit you. If you don't, we're not going to hit you. And you can play banker player, which is what's nice. When I played blackjack, my rule is if I lose 3 in a row, the table prevents me. Well, the way I play it, Ryan, is I would like the $5 tables. I would take $60 out, and I would play the 60. And if I start losing 5, 6 in a row, I don't wait for the 60. I leave. However, if I will play the 60 out if I win a little and lose a little, looking for the streak that he had. If I get the streak, then I'm going to play, and then I'm going to put the chips in my pocket. So if I get up 100, I'm putting 75 in my pocket, and I'm playing out the other 85. And I'm on a streak. I'm going to keep going. I would never walk away like he did on hitting the 18 hitting the 3 to get to 21. You got to be kidding me. So that's that was his only mistake. He won like $90,000 there in 1972. Is a lot of money, but that's how you play everything, right? Football, any sports, or blackjack or roulette. Or roulette, he hit a number as opposed to an odd or even. But you just won 12 grand. Where are you going? You just hit the number. Now, maybe you play whatever. I don't know what he bet for 12 grand because it's 36 to 1. So $100 would have been 3,600. So he must have bet like $300 on that. So bet another 300 and play the number again, or play that number and another number. You got 12 grand. You just hit. Keep going. Well, the key that I play, here's how I play blackjack or backrack, same thing. I start with 60. I bet 5. If I win, I increase to 2 units, to 3 units, to 5 units, and I keep increasing, but I pull back a little bit. So theoretically, I can win 3 hands and lose 7 hands and win, because I'm losing. As I lose, it's back to 1 unit. And then as I win, I'm increasing it. So if I win these hands, then I lose, and I'm back down here, and I'm losing these because I'm looking for the streak that this guy was on, or James Caan, and that's what you're looking for. I thought he played the role very well, and I always get goosebumps when I watch that scene. It's just then they show. Then he's up in the suite at I think he was playing at Caesars. No, it wasn't at Caesars. It was I think Bally's, or I don't know. And anyway, and they show this little sports book, and it was like, this is 72 Vegas, right? So you got Caesars across the streets, like Joe Blow's sports book and stuff like that. It was and that's when the Stardust was lighting up, and that's Vegas. That's what's hard about it now is, they don't light up. It was always the lights and the numbers that turned me on in Vegas, which they don't have the lights really. And, I like the numbers, but now you've made it $50 blackjack. So I'm not going to play that, but that's what I like. So as I'm winning, I'm increasing my bet. And then I get up 100, I'm putting 50 in my pocket. And the worst I'm going to do is win 50. And then I keep playing, and then I keep trying to win more. I win another 50 in the pocket because I'm trying to win. That's it. And most people have a hard time understanding that. I'll be at poker. It's the same thing. I flop a set, you got aces, I win $300, and I'm mentally going, okay, 200's in my pocket, I'll play the other 100 out, and then I win, and then I start losing, and I leave, and I've heard people go to me, I don't understand this quitting a winner thing, and I'm going, well, so I don't lose. Once I'm up, I don't want to lose because it's far harder psychologically. If I'm up 300 and I lose, and now I'm down 100, versus, okay, I'll end up winning 100. It's not about the amount you win. It's about the win. Psychologically, I won. That's what we're going for. Same thing with football. Same thing with everything. You get up, you quit a winner. That's very important psychologically because you'll lose your confidence. And you can lose it in poker, football, and everything. I've lost my confidence in football, not a lot, because I always go back to my stats and go and think, and I got my strategy down. So I'm pretty much know what I'm doing. So anyway, yes, he felt the double down like I feel the football games, like I feel girls, like I feel a lot. I am a certain type of psychological type, which is extremely rare. I don't think I'll show it to you now. I think I'll tape it and just get to the key points and show it to you tomorrow. But it fit me perfectly. It's the rarest type of personality, and it's very much me. And you'll understand me a lot better after seeing this. But I am kind of psychic. I kind of feel things, and I feel a lot. And it hurts me with women because I'll feel a woman and then it freaks her out because I'm like, yeah, I like you. Like, she doesn't get it. It's probably what happened in Alabama. And then they get a little scared because they're girls, and you come on a little too strong because you got this incredible feeling for them that they don't understand. But that's because I'm a very rare personality type. But I do that with the football games. Like I say, that's what a lot of my locks are. I look at a game and I looked at Cincinnati Buffalo, and I didn't need to analyze it. I knew Cincy was going to win. I knew to lock the 12, take the 11 or 12. The spread kept going up, and I loved it. I never worried. Just like Kansas City went from 1.5 to 2.5. I love it. I like Cincinnati. I feel Cincinnati, and I'm not even worried about give me 8.5. But I already bet it at 7.5. And my bet's already down with some people that I get 20%. We've already got 7.5, so it's already in. And I love the bet. And we had it last week, the 11.5 for 12. So in my mind, that's when I get that feel. That's what I'm looking for. And some games I don't. I had that feel with TCU Michigan, and I had the feel with TCU Georgia over. I knew it was going over. USC UCLA, I knew was going. So when I get that, or I found Kansas and they're an over every week, but the Iowa State game. So that when you get that, that's what I'm locking, is that feel. I know that the three's coming. He knew the 3 was coming. He could feel it, even though it wasn't a proper move. He hit the 21. The bad part was him leaving. If I did that, well, I do that at poker. I'm just warming up. I'm not leaving. So in poker, I'm playing hold'em, so you get the 5 cards in the middle, the community cards, and I'll get like a flush draw, or one hand I had like 2 pair, and there was a flush draw on the board, and it says it'd be great if the 9 of spades hit. It'd give me the full house because I think I had aces and 9s, and the other guy would have a flush. And I focused on it, and the 9 of spades comes, and I go, perfect. It's a perfect card because my whole full house is hidden. He hit the flush, and off we go. And I do that a lot when I can focus, and it's just amazing how I can do that. I don't know, but it makes the hair on my neck just like electricity. Because you're like, oh yeah, really, I need the 10 of hearts, yeah, and then I look, and it's the 10 of hearts, and it's such a shock that you actually called the card, and then it helps your hand. It's just an amazing feeling. But I have that ability to sort of think of things. Ryan, I used to grind out $1,500 a day in rock, paper, scissors against the blind kid, the only game I was consistent at. Well, I mean, blackjack, see, I don't agree with card counting in blackjack. I don't think it helps you because I believe in the streak and I believe in the feel. So did Jesus Christ. I can't believe I'm what's his name? James Caan. God, I could think of him as Sonny from Godfather, but I couldn't think of James Caan. So did James Caan, let's say he would have counted cards. He never would have hit the 18. If the deck's rich, let's say, even if it's not rich, he's never hitting the 18. It's stick on 18, hit, da-da-da-da-da. That's why you've got to play feel, because feel will give you that. And your gut, your instincts, your feel, I'm blessed. I know give me the 3. The only problem was he actually looked down after, like he should have just known based on his girlfriend that he had hit it. But that was I don't know. I would have doubled down. I think I would have just hit the 18, but he actually doubled down. Looks like he had $1,000. Those are black chips, are $100. So he looked like he had 10 of. So it looked like he had $1,000 out there, and he goes and doubles down to do it. I might not have done that, but give him credit for hitting the 18 and knowing the 3 was coming, and there it is. But then he should not have. I would have been really pressed up the next hand. I would have played one hand, and I would have hit it. I would have just let it ride. If I'm that hot, I'm not walking away from the table. So mistakes he made was leaving the backrack table after winning 4 in a row, leaving the blackjack table after hitting a 3 on 18, leaving the roulette table after he just hit a $12,000 number, and the craps table he hit 13 in a row, and I don't know if he left after subbing out or not. So we don't know, but he says I hit 13 passes in a row at the crap table. So he was on fire, and he played the streak somewhat well, but not really. He left a lot of money on the table at backrack and at blackjack where he's hot. Where do you like she said, this is our lucky table. She says, no, we're leaving. He was like, what the fuck you leaving for? You hit 4 in a row. This is what you wait for. Because he got, in the beginning of the movie, he's down $44,000 because he's on a cold streak. And he bets and loses, bets and loses, bets and loses, bets and loses. So now you're betting and winning, betting and winning. Where are you going? You've got what you wanted. So that was the only part that was like, that was his mistake. Or if I was teaching, which I do, it would have been never leave on a winning streak. If red's hitting roulette and it comes up red and red and red, you don't leave till black. Once black hits and you go, okay, I'm leaving. But I keep playing red. I'll be there 2 hours if it keeps hitting red because that's what I'm waiting for. That's what I want is the streak, and I finally got it. Ryan, card counting that they say gives you a 1% edge, but you would have to know what to do in every situation possible. You would have to have a massive bankroll and ride out the bad streaks. Well, the problem with card counting that I think this whole MIT thing's bullshit, you don't get honest. First of all, you're counting the card's value. Oh, there's a lot of 10s out. Well, as they start hitting, they're not out there anymore, and the deck is now more for the numbers. So you're not going to be there more than 10 hands, 15 hands, where how many 10s are in the deck? Okay, you're playing a 6-deck shoe. How many 10s are in there? And if they're all stacked, once you go through it, and now here comes the 2s, 3s, and 4s. So for them to play all these hours and win all this money is bullshit. There's never would have happened. And the fact, just because the deck's rich, the dealers also got the rich deck. So he's hitting 20, you're hitting 19, you're losing. Anything you got, you figure you're going to get the 10. So if you get a 16, you're fucked. If the dealer gets the 6, now you can play it, but you would play it that way no matter how the cards were counting. So I don't believe you can win a lot counting cards. I kind of indirectly count cards when I used to play because it's very hard now. The odds suck. But what I would do is simply, I could see, okay, a bunch of 2s and 3s. Okay, another hand, a bunch of 2. Okay, obviously there's a lot of 10s. I didn't automatically start winning. Even if I caught a 20, the dealer hits blackjack. The dealer gets 20. It didn't matter. It's not like, oh, now we're going to win. It's just a lot of pitchers are coming, and that doesn't guarantee you to win. It just means pitchers are coming. I can win just as much if the deck's low. That's the difference. The deck could be, way low. All the numbers are out. I can win just as easily because I'm going to double down on my 11. If I got 15 and the dealer's got a 6, I'm not hitting. If I got 15 and the dealer's got a 10, I have to hit. So it doesn't matter what the count is. I'm going to hit 15 because I got to assume the dealer. The key is you assume the dealer's got a 10 underneath because there's 10, jack, queen, and king. So you always assume the dealer's undercard's a 10. And so it doesn't matter what the card count is. See, they do it really weird. Ryan, the players are too obvious, and the dealer and pit boss each catch on quickly. I had a player bet 10, 10, 10, and when count got good, he put 700 out there. He got kicked out very well. Exactly. And did he win the 700? Probably not. Just because that. But see, my system, they're never going to throw me out. I'm not card. All I'm doing is I play 1 unit, 2 units, 3 units, 5 units. You're not going to throw me out because once my streak's over and I go back to 1 unit, well, I'm not going to kill you. I might win a couple hundred, or if I'm playing $5 hand. When my uncle showed me, he was a professional gambler and he was teaching me. I was at the what was that hotel? Anyway, I'm in Vegas like 1981, and my uncle happens to be there. He's from Toronto, and I'm playing blackjack, and I can't win. It's like I'm winning, and I'm betting $2 a hand. I don't know what I'm doing. I know how to play, but I don't know how to bet, and that's what I stress in Teaser King world. You got to know how to bet the football games, not just play them. And so when I just kept playing $2, and then maybe I'd go up to 4. I didn't know what I was doing. So playing with him, I started, I think it was $2 or $5, maybe 5. We took 60 out. It gives us 12 chances. I got hot with him. I was up to $185 a hand starting with 5. That's how hot I got. So I won like 15 hands in a row. And I walked away, went in probably $500-$600. Then I finally lost, and then I went back to 5. So it's like, okay, it's like when I fast, right? I've done 50 hours. I might as well do 60 because I'm already at 50. So let's keep it going. And that's the point with everything else. With the the starting at $5 and getting it to 180. It takes so long that it's like, okay, when it's over, you're like, okay, that's I'm drained because look what I had to do to get it there. I'm not going to win 13 hands in a row again very easily. So that's what happens. But we do it in football. First of all, you're looking for the feel. The more you guys analyze, and I've been doing it so long, I mean, that it makes it very easy to know the game. Like I've already played Joe Montana against Len Dawson, against Kansas City, or whoever they were at the time. Joe Montana against the Rams. I've already seen the game. I've already played the game. I already know what's going to happen. That's how I know to bet it. That's how I get the feel. So that's my point. So a lot of these games, Frisco, Philly, I saw the 49ers and the Bears in 84. And then I saw the Bears and the Rams in 85. And I saw the Giants and the Niners in 89 or 90. And they are all very low scoring. And that's what right now we got the 1990 49ers playing the 1990 Lawrence Taylor Giants. That game ended 13-10. They kicked the field goal to win on the Roger Craig fumble. That was Lawrence Taylor against Montana, and he did not light it up. And it was Joe Montana with Jerry Rice. I've already seen the game. I already know what happened, and I already know what's going to happen here. That's the beauty of what I do, and that's what I try to instill on you is getting that feel of looking at the game and knowing what's going to happen without doing the studying. Then you do the studying just to be careful. And then the only key is the injury. So if Montana was hurt and Steve Young's quarterbacking, it's a little different animal. But basically, all you're really doing is checking for injuries, maybe weather. The game was in San Francisco, and Craig fumbled with a minute left, and the Giants kick a field goal, and then went into the Super Bowl. And I think they beat Denver. Buffalo. No, that was the one they beat Buffalo 2019 on the wide right kick. That was it. But basically, it should have been the Niners. They would have killed Buffalo. The Niners never got a chance to beat Buffalo. Dallas twice, Washington, Dallas twice, and the Giants. And they all beat Buffalo. And the Niners would have beat them too. But that's what you're looking for. So I've already seen this game, Frisco, Philly. Just call it the Giants and call it the 1990 Giant 49er game. You got even with Joe Montana, you got 10 points. You don't score on a vicious defense, and that's what you got the Niner Philly game. That's why I like the game under. You don't score a lot on Lawrence Taylor. It's impossible. You get a few field goals, you get a few lucky passes. You're more or less worried about getting sacked. So you get rid of the ball before your plays can set up, and good defense. Good luck today. Got to go and do some shoveling. Where are you, Ryan? Are you in Philadelphia or Kansas City? I don't remember where you're from. I know some guys we got. Phil's from Philly. What do you got, Phil? You got snow? Oh yeah, you're in Wisconsin. I remember. Ah, the Packers aren't playing today. Phil, how's your weather? Or are you already at the game? Just curious. All right, Ryan, we'll go shovel. Good luck today. Enjoy, and I hope you make some money. So I want to show you a second video, but I'm not going to show you a lot. I don't know what these crazy things coming up. Let's see. I got so many like videos. Most of them are gold and silver. Hey, where is it? Where is it? Well, I got too many videos. I thought I had it. Oh, here it is.
Barnett couldn't get to it, and he's all alone. He's caught 3 passes, 67 yards, and 1 touchdown. I would think Notre Dame would be very happy to go into their locker room at halftime leading 24-6. Wouldn't you, Coach Hayes? Yes, excepting this drive by Southern Cal.
Okay, I'm going to give you about 5 minutes of this game. This is my favorite. Notre Dame SC 74. Notre Dame was up 24-0 just before half. Anthony Davis scored. It's 24-6. We're going to halftime. This is what I mean by emotion. Let's watch the next 5 minutes. That's all you'll need to watch. So you would think I had USC -1 in this. No, -7. I didn't tease it in this game. And figuring I lost, right? It's Notre Dame, Era Parseghian against John McKay. Here we go, number 28, Anthony Davis. Never did much in the pros, but this guy was fucking great. So you want to get excited. You're USC, you need a big play. This is why I hate there's no kickoffs, right? Why aren't they kickoffs? Here we go. Feel the electricity. That's called emotion. That's called momentum. And why they don't have kickoff returns and these guys just fair catch them is beyond me. We'll show one for another couple minutes. But right there, that's what is missing in football is this. No instant replay, no little blocking. They had a wedge. Well, good. I'm not getting that warning about infringement. It might come later, but right now it's not on.
Once he got it out, he was long gone. 102 yards for Anthony Davis. And that man who did not throw downfield.
That's Woody Hayes on commentary with Keith Jackson. Look at the wedge. They're at the 2-yard line. Now that you can't even do a wedge. Very good block there, and then he's gone. Nothing more exciting than that.
Another look at it from a different angle. Watch the wedge blow the hole for him. Man barely got his hands on it. 1, 2, 3.
All right, they go to the game right after this. Even they were excited. They had to show it 3 times.
One of the great plays in football. And they're going for 2. Going for 2. Southern Cal will go for 2. Hayden on a roll to the right side. Allen started the tailback in front of him. Hayden is there. He didn't make it. He was within a foot of getting there, and Drew Mahalik knocked him out of bounds. Number 45 saved the 2-point try. Drew Mahalik. He has made 3 big defensive plays in the ball game for Notre Dame. Let's watch it again now. And watch the flow of 45. Looked like Hayden was going to stick his head in there. Sure did.
I can't believe he didn't score. It definitely looked like this block right here. Boom, he blocked him, and the guy still was there. That was real good defense.
And so, with 14:46 to go in the third quarter,
So now USC's got all the momentum, and Era doesn't know what to do. Watch the motion. Look at that tackle. That's what you're playing for. That's what you do when you give up. When you go for it on 4th down, you don't get it. That's what you do to the other team. USC is so fired up right now. I mean, look at this tackle. I mean, this just crushes the guy. We'll go a couple more minutes. Yeah, good comment, Woody. Let's see their play calling. Era Parsegian. So he runs the fullback for nothing. But give him credit. What's he going to do at the 7-yard line?
You know, the defense looked a little tougher, a little meaner on that play than they have so far.
So you look at total yards. Notre Dame, I think, ends it right there.
Not that different, but the total yardage certainly was 256 to 1.
Now, where do you count Anthony Davis's kickoff return? It's not on there.
Down at 6. Notre Dame at their own 12. Clements gives to Samuel. He's up to the 15 to the 16-yard line. They're going to be looking at a 3rd down and 2. And here you see Notre Dame going into that misdirection offense. Yes, sir, this is a key play. 3rd and 2. Because if they don't, then they kick, and Southern Cal will get the ball around midfield. My guess is they'll run their fullback. Either that or sweep. So here I am guessing. All right, they keep on the Notre Dame offense to keep possession of the ball on 3rd down and 2. And linebackers are cheating up in there. There they are. They've got 8 men up on that line. Southern California does. Clements going down the line, delivers the ball.
Look at that guy hit the quarterback and that. Look at the emotion. You're not beating that team. And they were down 24-6. They were down 24-0. Power the kickoff return. All right, a couple more. Let's go. We'll see this USC touchdown, and then we'll go back to conversation.
13 minutes to go in the third quarter. The complexion of things entirely different right now. All that 102 yards kickoff return by Anthony Davis. Now Notre Dame has come to kick the ball away. Tony Brentford standing in his end zone. He hits it up on the 3-yard line. Doesn't get it very high.
Here we go again for another touchdown.
By Charles Phillips to the Notre Dame 38-yard line, a 34-yard punt, a 7-yard return, and here you have Southern California steaming right now with a football at the Notre Dame 38.
No stoppages for the refs, no instant replays. It's beautiful.
Here is a pressure point of the ball game.
And no commercials.
Southern California at the Notre Dame 38. 5-man front defensively. 52 defense for Notre Dame. As Pat Hayden gives the ball to Anthony Davis. He's got 1 yard as he works down to the 37-yard line. Anthony Davis having set a new NCAA record for touchdowns on kickoff returns with 6. The old record was 5, held by Davis and Stan Brown of Purdue. Brown having played at Purdue in 1968, 69, and 70. And that's the way the Trojans line up along the offensive front. They're looking at 2nd down and 9 at the Notre Dame 37-yard line. It's a test of poise for both teams at this point in the game. 24-12, Notre Dame leading. Sheldon Diggs goes in motion. Here's Hayden back to throw. He's got Diggs wide open on the right. Goes for McKay. McKay's got it. He puts the ball right into his hand and makes the catch off the Notre Dame 6-yard line. John Gubinetzi brought him down. The son of the SC coach, John McKay, makes a 31-yard reception. He's got room to make it move. That's his first catch of the ball game, and he really concentrates, Woody. He's a great little receiver. We know that only too well. That's right. Ball is at the Notre Dame 6-yard line now. The Irish defense digging in. SC trying to get themselves back in the ball game. Here's the pitch wide for Davis. They're blocking on the right side. Touchdown!
No, he's down a half yard short. No, let's go to review. It's beautiful. The ref's there, call the touchdown, move on. This is what I miss most about football now versus then, or then versus now.
Well, whatever. We've got ourselves a roaring ball game as Chris Limahelu comes in to go for 1 this time. The hold is good. The kick is up. The kick is good. And so with 11 minutes and 35 seconds to play in the 3rd quarter, we've got ourselves a ball game. Southern California goes 38 yards in 3 plays in a minute and 4 seconds.
There you go. So 24-0 becomes 24-19 in 2 minutes. You run a kickoff back. You got emotion. That's what emotion does. So I take that game, and I had bet USC 74. I'm 15 years old, and I got $100 bet on USC -6. I'm betting on Anthony Davis, and off you go. And that's, you get the kickoff return, and you see the defense all of a sudden is playing like the Bears. The offense, 3 plays touchdown, and the next drive, 3 plays touchdown. The next drive, they run a punt back to the 10, 2 plays touchdown. They score 55 points in the game, and it was 24-0 with a minute left in the first half. It shows you what emotion is. It shows you why you bet on the key players. This is why I bet on Joe Burrow. I bet on Anthony Davis. What did USC have? They had balance. They had a good quarterback in Hayden, good receivers, and you had Anthony Davis running. So you had balance. Even though Notre Dame was up 24-0, you could see once the momentum shift, they're fucked. There's nothing they could do. They could not get momentum back once you lose it. You go for it on 4th and 2 at your own 40, you're done, because this is what you turn the other team into. You're not going to stop them. You have no defense for them. You got a player like Anthony Davis, running, they couldn't stop him, right? He gets another couple touchdowns. I think he ends up with 5 touchdowns in the game. He got the one just before half. He gets the kickoff. He just got that one. He gets the next one. Very unstoppable. You could see how emotional he was. This is the part that I'm saying in football. This is why you don't go for fourth down, because that's what you give up is that emotion. And you can see Ira fucking Parseghian had no clue. Woody Hayes is doing the game. He's peeing in his pants because they're playing him in the Rose Bowl, and he's like, well, now what do I do, right? I thought I'd pick up notes from how Ira Parseghian defends him, and Ira gives up 55. Ohio State, I think won that Rose Bowl game because Anthony Davis got injured in the first quarter. But it's kind of unfair. He's doing the play-by-play, scouting the team he's going to play in the Rose Bowl. Don't let that fool you. That's why Woody was there. But it was nice. Keith Jackson and Woody Hayes doing a fucking game, a big game. Much better than Jim Nantz and Tony Romo or Collinsworth or Aikman or any of these idiots. A little bit different, huh? Keith Jackson than these morons. So that's the problem in life, right? You get something really good in the 70s, Vegas, and now you had this great football game with no instant replay, no 20-minute injury timeouts, no wait, did he score? Anthony Davis scored there. Did his knee touch before? Doesn't matter. The ref said touchdown, move on. That's how it should be. No, we let's go frame by frame that Anthony Davis's knee touch. You ruined the whole fucking flow of the game and of the watch, right? This is like watching a good movie. And you're into it, and here's USC scores again. I apologize, any of you Notre Dame fans, but we'll do the 77 green jersey game. And by the way, the quarterback of that game was Joe Montana. So it's not because they wore green, it's because they had Joe Montana as their quarterback. But anyway, that's what I mean about momentum. That's what I mean about emotion. Once a team plays like that, there's no fucking way you're going to beat them. And so that's confidence. He runs the kickoff back. Later on in the segment, the guy goes, well, that's what John McKay in the halftime said. We're going to take the opening kickoff and run it for a touchdown and score and score and score. That's what he told the team, and then that's what they did. Anthony Davis goes, and that's it. And so you bet the star. You bet the emotion. But they were dead the first half. They're losing 24-0. All of a sudden, you get that little spark. That's why we bet the stars. That's why you got to find the stars. And we know Lamar Jackson is not Anthony Davis. Joe Burrow is. Chase is. That's what is that thing. That's what I look for is that thing. Joe Montana had it. Brady has it. Anthony Davis in college. He never had it in the pros, but in college, you can see what he did. That's what I look for. That's why I bet Rising and Van Dyke and Hartman. They have it. Even Georgia's quarterback, I like him. He's got it. He wins. He's a fucking winner. I don't know. You want to measure his height. Who gives a fuck? When they needed a touchdown against Ohio State, he got him a touchdown. Did it against Alabama. So as far as I'm concerned, I'm not worried about that guy. I'll take Stetson Bennett over the Alabama guy. So that's what we look for. That's what we have. I very much have that emotion in me. It's a passion thing, and I'm very passionate, and I hate to lose. So when I do pick losers, I get kind of frustrated. I have a perfection gene in me. So I want to be perfect. I want to go, last week I hit 4 for 4, and then I missed the over in the Cincy game. Well, I was frustrated. Even though I hit the 4 games, I wanted to go 5-0. That's why when I play with some of these guys, these 18 teasers, we'll go 7-1, and I get pissed off with the loser going, half my skill set is getting, what's the loser going to be? I know I can pick 8 winners. It's the loser. And that's what I try to avoid. And I look for the Anthony Davis on the teams who's going to get me that because they're so much better than the other players. and then the whole team. He runs the kickoff back. The defense is playing. The guy comes down and tackles him on the kickoff at the 7 because he's all fired up. That's what an Anthony Davis does, more so in college. I didn't understand that he couldn't do that in the pros. But the guys are bigger and faster than in college. Even Notre Dame's guys, which you would have thought half of them were pros, probably were. Phil, when did instant replay come in the NFL? I think it was the mid 80s. I remember John Madden doing a game with Pat Summerall, and I think it was like 85, 86. And it was like the guy stepped out of bounds, and John Madden's like, and they went to replay, and the guy clearly stepped out of bounds, but they're still reviewing it. And Madden's like, what's it taking so long? It should take 10 seconds. We see he's on the line. Good. That's it. Let's move on. Why are they taking so long? So I remember John Madden saying that about the replay. It was a 49er game, I think, or it was a big game, him and Pat Summerall. It had to be a playoff game, I think. Do you think they rely on replay so much more now to better manipulate games and also incompetence by current refs? I think it looks at I think it's a business. See, you've taken free market out of it and you've made it corrupt, and you said, oh, we need Dallas over Tampa. And, well, let's go to San Diego, Jacksonville, and everybody's on San Diego. We need Jacksonville. Maybe not to win, but not to, we don't want San Diego to cover. And then you get some bad calls where the guys clearly fumble, like the Tennessee game. Let's go to the Tennessee-Jacksonville game. They needed, I don't know where my week 18 went to. Anyway, Tennessee's up. Jacksonville wins. Grr. Anyway, the line, where did my week 18 go? It's frustrating. Well, it's here somewhere. Oh, no, it is week 17. That's why I don't find week 18. There isn't one. Tennessee, Jacksonville. So the line is I thought they played in week 17. I got Dallas, Tennessee. Didn't they play the last week of the year? What the fuck? Tennessee, San Diego. Jacksonville at the Jets, and then I got Dallas, Tennessee. What happened to the Tennessee-Jacksonville game? Anyway, in that game, I think the money was going late on Tennessee. They make the call that it's a fumble, not an incomplete pass, even though it was clearly an incomplete pass because his hand was going forward. And then they take 2 seconds and say, nope, it's a fumble, and Jacksonville scored. It's a touchdown. There, I believe, yes, they needed the money. They needed Jacksonville to win. They want to maybe build up Trevor Lawrence because Tennessee's got, the shitty quarterback from the University of Tennessee. And so, therefore, I believe they did want Trevor Lawrence to win, and I believe that's what happened in the game, unfortunately. And what are you going to do with it? But replay could have turned it around. If that was Tom Brady, replay would have said, nope, that was an incomplete pass. But because it was the Tennessee guy, I can't remember, then it became a fumble and a touchdown. So they looked at what it was. So I think they manipulate games based on the betting a lot. I think that they shouldn't rely on it. They could just fix the ref where the ref calls pass interference, which is not reviewable. like they did in the Minnesota-New Orleans game a couple years ago, where it was clearly pass interference and he doesn't call it. And New Orleans would have won, and I think Minnesota won or vice versa. I don't remember. But I remember the guy knocked the guy down and they didn't call pass interference. And that's where you got to believe it's fixed. Do they fix every game? I don't think they do. I do think they fix what they can. I think only the big ones, because they can't fix too many too often. They still need to appear legitimate. Or a holding they can call whenever convenient for them. Well, and that's what they do. That's how the fix is. It's the holding. It's, if you notice, a team with a 10-point lead and the other team has the ball, all of a sudden here comes hands to the face, here comes pass interference. If the other team has the ball and they're leading by 10, what happens? Holding. I saw one game, the team got 5 holding penalties against them in a row. And they were leading, and they needed the other team to score, so they kept calling holding penalties on them. It was unbelievable. It's so obvious. And then all of a sudden, no more holding penalties. The other team has the ball, no holding penalties. So that's how it's fixed. What I don't like is the replay taking 5 minutes and going away for commercials. Now it's become a commercial thing. Now, showing you the USC Notre Dame game, it just was a smooth, here it is, no interruptions, no replays. The refs seem to be able to mark the ball perfectly. Anthony Davis scores, not a problem, no replay. So you've taken the game with the flow and the emotion, and you've killed all the flow and emotion where, oh, wait, let's have a replay and take 5 minutes out of it. Now you've fucked up everybody's emotion. So they're really taking emotion out of the game with these replays. And then the guy gets injured, and it's 5 minutes and 5 minutes of commercials where it's become a commercial fest. That's what I have a problem watching that crap, because I'm used to that. So here's the problem: you get older in life. You see Vegas, you see the Gambler, and you see Caesars, and you see all that in the early 70s. I was there in 68 on a family vacation. I was like 8 years old, and then I went back in the late 70s, I believe, or when I turned 21. So that would have been 1980. I was there on my own. That's when I met my uncle to how do you play blackjack. But I don't understand the age limit. What's the difference? If I got money, what's the difference? Is I don't understand these age stuff. Like you can drink alcohol when you're 21, but you can't when you're 19. What's the difference? If you know how to handle it is more the question than that. So I'm not quite sure I understand that. And then basically everything else. But in my mind, you had all the flashy lights of the Sands and the Stardust, and it was very exciting. And now you killed it. And then the football, you had Keith Jackson doing a fucking game. You got nobody like that now. And it was exciting to watch. It was energy, and the game had a lot of emotion. And there was not the breaks. It was like, boom, touchdown. Okay, here we go. Boom, boom. Oh, they stopped them. They got the punt. Boom, touchdown. Boom, boom, boom. And it was a lot of action, a lot of emotion, and a lot of flow with the game. You could easily go with the game, which you can't do now. All these delays, it's almost like, you know what, I'm going to turn a movie on, which I do a lot. I did that the second half of the Jacksonville San Diego game. That's 27-0, game's over. And I'll check back in an hour and see what the score is. And I kept checking, and it was like 27-20, so I turned it back on. But it's so hard to watch with all these stops and then the instant reviews. There should be a 20-second time limit on it. It's funny, baseball wants to speed up their game. Football, on the other hand, get rid of the instant replay. But like you said, Phil, it's more, wait, who do we need? We need the Giants? Oh, okay, let's make sure it goes the Giants' way, because that's who we need on the thing. And you're just like, excuse me, what the hell is that? Why is it taking 5 minutes? It's supposed to be very obvious. If it's not obvious, then it just stays with the ruling. And you got a ref 3 feet away. the ref had no problem with Anthony Davis scoring. Maybe it was close, but they gave him the touchdown, and that was it, right? Touchdown USC. That's what you got a ref standing there. He's inbounds. Fine, he's inbounds. You take a quick look at his foot, like the Dallas game yesterday, last week, where Schultz picks up his right foot before he catches the ball, left foot, and the right foot hits out of bounds. The ref fucks that call up by calling him inbounds, and they changed it. Was it really necessary? So the ref blew it. It really wasn't a catch. It doesn't matter. There's 10 seconds left in the game. It ain't going to matter. Okay, you got it right, but why did it take so long? Again, it should have been a very quick, yes, he clearly picked up his foot. It's incomplete. And then they're checking now they get the peripherals. Well, we got to move the clock back. No, you don't. How much time ran off the clock? It would have done the same. And then where were they at? Well, you should know where they're at. I mean, you got the marker where it was. So, I mean, it's a lot of that other peripheral stuff, but basically that type of play, okay, the ref missed it. Are you assuming the ref's missing every plays? Then you have a problem with your refs that in the 73-74 game here, they don't have a problem marking the ball. And, Michigan, Ohio State, same thing. When you watch those games, it's right there. You can clearly see the guys there, and they mark it right there. You very rarely see a bad mark or a bad call in the 70s with those refs. So I don't know. Now we got to have a woman ref, and we got to have, different races as refs. I mean, come on. Have your best refs, and off you go. And as long as they can, I don't care if it's a woman, as long as she knows what she's doing and calls the plays correctly. I do if she doesn't and she's there because she's a woman, not because she knows how to ref and everything else. And they make a big deal. Oh, the first woman to ref a Super Bowl. We don't give a shit. Does she know what she's doing? Fine. And we don't care that she's a woman. We don't care what she is. I mean, just have somebody that knows what they're doing. So that's the thing. So you could feel the USC Notre Dame game. You could feel that. It's on YouTube. You can watch the whole game, or at least that. I watched about 20 minutes of it yesterday. Went from just before the half, 24-6. It was 24-0, 24-6, and then touchdown. Kickoff return, touchdown. And I ended it was 34-24 USC on their way to getting 55 points. So it was the emotion filled game that what's missing now, and that's what's missing on the kickoff returns. If I would have my kickoff return guy return it, but you've moved it back to the 40. Now here's my problem. Now you got the stupid safety going in. Well, we want them to be safe for the players so nobody gets hurt, and therefore we'll move the kickoff. I think they kick off again from the 40, and so most of the balls go into the end zone. You totally fucked up this whole Anthony Davis, and basically you've ruined the game because you're worried about, well, yeah, they got hurt on the kickoff returns. Well, we saw 3 kickoff returns in Notre Dame USC. I didn't see anybody get hurt. I saw a wedge. I didn't see the guys get hurt. So it's a lot of like, what the fuck are you talking about? Players getting hurt. It's football. Players get hurt. Mahomes got hurt last week. It happens. It's part of the game, and it wasn't a vicious hit. The guy fell on his leg, probably intentional. If I was the Jacksonville guy, I would have made sure I landed on his ankle, because that's the goal. I want to get him out of the game so we can win. It's about winning. And so that's what really is frustrating, is when you start comparing Vegas and 72. I guarantee it was $2 for shrimp and steak. All you can eat buffets for $5. The women, the gambling, the sports, you could watch on the big screens at Caesars for free. The football betting was even money on a teaser. It was beautiful back then. And now you go and it's like you can't afford any. You're leaving to go to the CBS to get cantaloupe and a tuna sandwich because they want Gordon Ramsay there at $50 to eat. Who the fuck? That's not why I go to Vegas. That was part of the luxury of it, and the lights and all the atmosphere. You've totally killed the atmosphere, and you totally killed the pricing. So it's made it very, very difficult. anyway, so then you have the same with football. Very exciting, very entertaining. And then now you've killed it with the instant replay that's used way too often, not needed like you're doing it. Very, very, shouldn't get that involved with it. It should be at most a 20 second. I mean, if you can't, and you don't go frame by frame, zoom it in. Oh, look, he touched the white part of the grass. He's out of bounds. Man, that's not how the refs are calling the game. You can't use instant replay to call it differently than the refs are. And then you say, well, we're trying to get it right, but you still fuck it up. The guy scores. Well, no, we're marking him down at the 1. No, he scored. And, so you mark him down at the 1, and then it's just bullshit, right? So, again, now you're risking more injury by running plays when it should have been a touchdown because the ref called it. So it's very frustrating to watch. So again, Frisco 20-17 and Cincinnati 31-20 today. Joe Burrow is the Anthony Davis, as well as Mahomes is not as much as Joe Burrow is. And he was, but it's now like Joe Burrow's Anthony Davis, and the Niners have a lot of strong players. Philly doesn't have the Anthony Davis. Maybe it's Hurts, but maybe not. I don't say Purdy's the Anthony Davis. So what I've always won betting is finding the Anthony Davis. In college, I got Rising, I got Hartman, USC, you got Oregon, you got all the TCU, Baylor, Georgia. Those are all, that's the guys that you're betting on. In the pros, it's just these guys. And what's happening is Brady was, but he's not anymore. Rodgers was, but he's not anymore. Mahomes is good. Russell Wilson was. So you're always looking for Anthony Davis or that style in that electric guy that makes the whole team get emotional. That's what you're looking for. And that's what you want to bet on, right? So we're looking for that and we bet on it. Lamar Jackson is not that player. I don't know why people think Fields. As soon as I see Fields, I go, this guy's no Anthony Davis, and neither is Tagliabue or Trevor Lawrence. They don't make the defense better. Anthony Davis made the kick returners better. The guy killed the guy in that second kickoff at the 7-yard line. That's Anthony Davis right there. The whole team was jacked up from what he ran the kickoff back. You just don't see it. So, I mean, the closest is Burrow, where he makes the defense better. He'll make the special teams better. Believe me, but he does it throwing the ball. Montana was probably the first one, not Bradshaw. Staubach was okay, but really it was Lynn Swann and Franco Harris, and then it went to Montana, and then Lawrence Taylor, and then Emmitt Smith, and Michael Irvin, and then Brady was that. So they're so much better. They win the games. That's what you're betting on and looking for. And that's why sometimes I can't figure it out, like Philly and the Giants. It really took me a while because the way Philly was playing, I didn't see 38-7. I saw 27-20. I didn't think they would dominate them that much until I looked at the sacks. And this is what I do so well, hunting around for a reason. 70 sacks, Philadelphia. Daniel Jones can't throw. He's not going to be able to run on this. He got sacked 5 times and hurried. And so once I saw that stat, that added in. So I am looking at multiple things to try to get the feel. I never really got the feel on them, but I got the feel on Cincy, Buffalo, and Frisco, Dallas. And that's what happened. And I really never got the feel on Kansas City, Jacksonville. I just thought it would be high scoring, and I got in it. I won by a point, but they didn't. I don't know how Jacksonville scores, but they got some points. Anyway, so today it's Cincinnati's pretty much the feel, and then Frisco, Philly. It's such a close, even game. The feel is the under. It's like, okay, this is Lawrence Taylor land. You're not going to score. You've got to respect the defense. When they're that good, you don't score on it. So I have one other video, but I think I'll show it tomorrow. My personality type. You'll like it because I'm pretty freaking psychic we think I am because of the personality type. You just can feel things and you sense things that you're very good at reading people. And I saw this and I said, yeah, that's pretty much me, but we'll talk about it tomorrow. But that's how I'm so good at this is the feel. I can feel the games. I can sense it. I can smell an upset. I know which way to take it most of the time. Like I didn't fuck with Kansas City last week. We were 9.5 against Jacksonville. I took the over. It was 46. They got the 47, but I didn't trust Jacksonville enough, and they were down 10. They kicked the late field goal, which gave me the over. But if you laid the 9.5, I don't have confidence in KC. They don't have a good defense. Therefore, that's why. So now I'm going to take advantage. Art of war with Cincinnati. How are they going to stop Burrow and Chase? They're not. They can't. And, how healthy is Mahomes? He's not healthy. I don't care what they say. He could be out dancing. He's not that healthy. So that's that. Going to the economy. So I'm reading where kind of an interesting video, or we won't look at the video. Let's see.
Have you heard of life insurance with living benefits? This type of life insurance policy pays out tax-free.
Don't need life insurance. We got called. So it's this video here. Which I will read you. It says, China and global central banks sell billions of U.S. treasuries. China sold 210 billion. So they're all selling the treasuries of the U.S. And, if they don't buy it, we collapse. And that's what's happening. So it's getting really gloom and doom for our economy. Well, the U.S. economy anyway. Nobody wants our debt. They're all getting out of the dollar. It's collapsing, and it's happening more and more. You'll read contradictory ones where sometimes they say, oh, no, we're fine. We're the U.S. We're the dominant currency. It'll take a long time. And then you read that one, and you're like, oh, we're collapsing right now because China and Japan are not buying our debt and selling our bonds and da-da-da-da-da. So it's really tough to figure out what's reality and what isn't. But we know the end game. And so, again, we are in our Philharmonics buying our gold. This is all I can tell you is this is your key. This is your insurance. This is going to make you money. This is what you need to get into because this is going away. And so, therefore, if this goes away, this really becomes powerful. So this is our Anthony Davis today. So just be careful. So I watch a lot of these, but it's who do you trust? And it depends on who's saying it. And most of them, or then the title says, here's the winner of the Super Bowl. And then it doesn't talk about the Super Bowl in the video. And you're like, what the fuck kind of title is this? So you get a lot of frustration there. So that's what's happening in the nobody wants our money, and they're selling the bonds they should be buying. So it's a lot of trouble. Keep that in mind. That's what's happening. You can't ignore it. Just like Mahomes today, he's injured. You can pretend all you want. He's not injured. He's injured. He's how healthy, who knows, but he is injured. So keep that in mind. What do we got? The game on at 3. So I probably want to leave to hit the gym. This game is on at, hello. Yeah, first game's at 3. So I will wrap this up. Tomorrow I'm going to go into my personality traits so you understand me better, because I'm a very confusing personality. People don't really know how to get me because I'm very complex. Phil, or Holding, yeah. Phil, did you enjoy the movie Casino? More mob than gambling flick, but Vegas looked really cool back then. I liked it. I didn't really like the. Am I still here? I think I am. Okay, it said I lost the internet, but it looks like it's back on. So, Phil, it was okay. I wanted to see. Okay, thank you, Phil. Yeah, I came up. You're offline, and I know sometimes I disconnect from the internet in the middle of this. Um, it was okay. I thought it could have been better. I liked the movie The Gambler I showed you with James Caan in 71, 72. I thought that was a better movie, but James Caan was a hell of an actor, because whenever I watch one of his movies, he's got one out, Thief, and then he's got that Gambler. I wish I could get it. I don't know where it is. I was staying at the Marriott before I moved in here when I moved up from Alabama, or moved back here, and it was on like a movie channel that the hotel had, and then it was a I can't find it again. And I go to this video replay, which is all these videos that have been watched, so they're kind of used, but I don't mind. So if I saw it there, I would buy it. But it was okay. Those type of movies. A good movie I like that you might like is Kelly's Heroes, where they steal a bunch of gold from the Germans behind enemy lines, and Clint Eastwood and Telly Savalas are in it, and Don Rickles. And that's a really good, that I like better than the Casino movie. I don't know. I just didn't know where they went with it. And it just, I liked Old Vegas, but I didn't, they have a hard time with the endings. How are we calculating China's gold supply? Are the countries selling them gold, releasing the information? Because I surely can't take China's accounting serious. China has 40,000 tons, because it's not just central bank. So sometimes you'll see China's gold as central bank, and they go, well, we got 5,000 tons of it. But like Putin, the central bank in Russia has 4,000 or 5,000 tons. Putin's got another 10,000 tons. So Russia has 15,000 tons, but it's not all central bank. And the same with China. It's not all central bank. Figure China to have 40,000 tons of gold. They're number one, and Russia's got about 15,000 tons. They're number two. Oh, that's what I was going to show you. There's one more video I must show you very quickly. I don't even know if I need to show you or just. I can find it. Yeah. It doesn't give me enough history. I wonder if it's in my like videos. Anyway, Ron Paul is talking. Yeah, it's in my like. Ron Paul is talking to the Fed, and the Fed admits they have no gold. So here's a good one from my guy. World to abandon U.S. as dollar crumbles. That's my guy, Alistair McLeod. So when he says it, you can believe it. This was an older one. This is what we're waiting for. Markets to take over gold pricing, and that's what's happening in Russia. So that's why I'm so positive on this, is because this is not physical price. This is derivative paper price being fixed. Now it's going to go to a real physical price, and now it's going to, that's why. So when you see $2,000 for this coin, it's bullshit. It's the paper derivative. So it's not even, who knows what it is? It's fantasy. That's why I am so high on a such higher amount. Let's see. I got so many liked videos. Anyway, there's one with Ron Paul. I'll look for it for tomorrow. Where they basically say there is no gold. The Federal Reserve has no gold. Where is it? Give me 1 second. See, here he's saying China has 20,000 tons of gold. Let me get the right one. So that's what my guy's saying. China's $20,000 gold. Or 20,000 ton gold. It's 20,000 T, 20,000 tons. So I know that's at least what it is. Oh, Christ. Anyway, I'll look for this video, but there's a video where Ron Paul is saying to the Fed, and the Fed's admitting we don't have any gold. Where is it? Anyway, I'll find it later. I'll probably find it as soon as I get off. No, I can't find it. On TV, it's easier. I can scroll much faster. Anyway, there was a video by Ron Paul maybe 10 years ago, and he asked the Fed if they had any gold, and they said, no, we don't. It's either lent out or sold to other countries, or just sold, but they admitted we don't have any. So I was like refreshed by seeing that. So that's what's happening. You can see the documentation if you just read it and don't listen to CNN, and the national news will never say it because they're controlled like we're in Russia. My girlfriend in Russia does not know. She knows there's a war going on, but she can't see anything because it's all blocked. The TV won't show her, so I send her YouTubes that say, look, Putin just got they just blew up his compound. She's like, oh, really? I didn't see that. And same thing with my girlfriend in the Ukraine. I send her stuff like, oh, look, Russia just 100,000 of their soldiers just surrendered. So, but she keeps getting bombed. So it's crazy. I don't know what Putin wants. I don't know when does the game end is what I don't understand with Putin. There's not a lot of time left, and he keeps playing, and it's costing him a lot of money, and he keeps going. I mean, it costs a lot to feed your soldiers, and the weapons, and the bombs, and the all that stuff costs money, but yet it doesn't seem to faze him. So it's really weird. And his whole people are against it. They're all protesting, and it's not stopping him. So I wonder if Ron Paul asked that before or after he introduced the bill to audit the Fed. I think it was after. It currently would make me want to see the real balance. The whole point of that YouTube, and I'll show it tomorrow. He had the bill, and he says, you guys won't show us what's inside, makes us not trust you. So we don't trust that you have gold because you won't let us see it. And there was these two guys from the Fed. They weren't like Ben Bernanke or I think at that point it was, who was the main guy? I can picture him. But, whoever it was not him in the Congress, in the Senate, or whatever. It was these two, accountant looking type of people and they said, well, is there any gold in it? And they said, well, we can't answer. And then he said, well, it looks like you're hiding something, and it looks like you don't have any, because if you did, you would show us. And, this is Congress can't get in to see it. And because as we know, JP Morgan runs the government, not the government. So when Ron Paul asked the question, JP Morgan's saying, no, you can't see it. And so he can't see it. And that's why he can't. But I believe he had introduced the bill, and they still wouldn't let him see it. And that's why he had these guys there going, you look very dishonest by not letting, it's not. I saw something on YouTube where the guy is interviewing this couple on the street, and they said, well, we're going to do a test. Do you trust each other? And they said, yeah. The guy said it. The wife said it. They said, well, let me see your phone. And the guy takes his phone out, and the girl was like not letting them see her phone. Now, do you look honest or dishonest there? And that's the problem is she looked very dishonest. So the guy said, I can trust her, and she's out. Who knows what she's doing? But obviously she had things to hide. And then the girlfriend of the girl steps in and says, okay, that's enough. Leave him alone. In other words, saying, she's definitely hiding something. And it's all the reaction. So I don't know. We don't know what Putin's doing, but we can see by the Fed, all we can do is assume they don't have any gold, or they'd show it, right? What do? I buy gold. See, I got gold. This is what I got. If I didn't have it and I'm saying buy gold, what am I going to do? Well, it's none of your business if I have gold or not. I'm just teaching, but a good teacher, I did a 75-hour fast, and I'm telling you to fast. Telling you to buy gold, and I show you my gold. I told you to buy silver, and I show you my silver. That's how you lead, by example, not by saying things and then you're not backing them up. I give you the picks. I gave you, what was the free pick last week? San Francisco over Dallas. I gave you the pick. The game wins. I bet it. I had a lot on it. There you go. I mean, that's what you're trying to do. I love how they look like, well, it's Brock Purdy's first playoff road game. Oh, okay. So playing Dallas at home is going to be really different than playing at Philly. They're just grasping for straws, but that's where you've got to be convicted and have a strong conviction and say, no, I'm sticking with my guns. I don't care that Brock Purdy, that's why I'm going under. It doesn't really matter. They're not going to get a lot of points anyway. So I don't really care if Philly wins. I like Frisco to win, but I don't care as long as the game stays low scoring. Just like Jacksonville, KC, I didn't care who won, just score points. And again, Mahomes got injured, or there would have been another 20 in the game. So that's where I'm at. I don't know. That's all you can do is you got to be honest, and you got to show, you got to prove it. And then, if that's what if you're trying to gain trust. If you're trying to hide things, then of course you just say whatever, and you don't back it up, and then, people think you're dishonest. People think you're that. There was a video I had done, and I can't remember it. Oh, you know how I do my little headers, and I was on like a 32-4 run on my locks, and it's the header, and I can't believe I didn't get like 1,000 customers, and it's starting to dawn on me that people don't believe me. Like they're like, oh, he's Madoff. Nobody can go that hot. Well, because of who I am, I can go that hot, and I do go that hot, and I was pretty damn hot this year. But people don't believe it. So that's why I go into this depth going, okay, we're taking Frisco, Cincinnati last week. It wins. See, look, I told you I can do this. And that's where it just blows me away that people don't trust you. I was sitting at Caesar's Palace, and I was really hot, and I was 35-5 in my locks for 8 weeks. And I'm hitting 5 locks a week, and they're all winning. And I said to this guy who was betting on football, and he didn't believe me. I said, well, I picked I don't know, whoever New England. Oh, anybody could take New England. They got Tom Brady. And I said, well, I hit Dallas with, I think Kellen Moore was the quarterback or whatever. I said, well, I've hit the bad teams too. And it was like he just couldn't believe me. And you're just, you don't know what to do. I got to charge my phone, but he doesn't know what to do. So anyway, that's where you're at. And I'll get you the other videos tomorrow. Now, I guess because it was a movie, I had that warning about showing it. But as long as you guys can see it, I don't know. I don't know what they do. I know I tried putting up some Money Heist videos, like to show some key parts, and it got kind of blocked and taken down. I don't know if they'll do that with this. I don't, hopefully not, but that's why I do it live. And, but I didn't get it on the football game. So some of the stuff I'll show, really, I don't think I'll have that. It is kind of weird that they can pick up. I'm showing a video here because I'm not pulling it online. I'm just showing it here, and they're picking it up. Very interesting. But we'll see. Again, I'm not worried. I do these every day, and this is something I wanted to show. But anyway, anything else? The NFL seems to be far more aggressive at blocking on YouTube than the NCAA. Possibly, but that was the movie. That was the gambler that got blocked, not the USC Notre Dame game. I never got a message on that. And then, and the other was Joe Montana. Oh no, I didn't show you that game. I showed the USC game and the gambler. So the movies, I know, like Netflix. If I tried showing the professor's scenes at the end, it kept kicking back, saying you can't. And then that's why I did it on my phone. And even when I did it on my phone and so I recorded it off of Netflix, tried to show it. I think I tried to upload it. So I think if I show it, I might be okay. Really strange. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If it had been the NFL, you would have had trouble. Yeah. Well, and this was an old game. This was a 73 or 74 USC Notre Dame game. So maybe back then it wouldn't have had the same things. If I took the Georgia TCU game, I might have problems because now all the different algorithms that are there. But I'm so sick. See, you can see I didn't get commercials in the USC Notre Dame game a little bit. It's just amazing how much commercials you get on YouTube and how often. So a minute in. So when you start at commercial, a minute in commercial, you're like getting further. I keep rewinding these finance ones because I'm totally losing the concept when I'm in the middle and then you go to a commercial. So I go back 30 seconds and it doesn't commercial me. Then I can watch through. But every 4 or 5 minutes, it's a break for a commercial. And they do it in the middle of a sentence. Oh, look what the Russians are. And then it's commercial. And you're like, fuck, are you kidding me? at least time it up when, they're in a new subject. So it's really frustrating. YouTube's getting to watch stuff, but you really don't have another source at this point to watch it. They want us all to pay for that YouTube premium. That's how I am. I think it's $11 and you won't have commercials. And I'm like, fuck that. I don't care about that. All right, I'm going to go so I can get home for 3:00. Should be a hell of a game. Frisco, Philly. Look for it to be low scoring, but it starts at 3. So I'm going to go take my hot tub and my swim, and then I won't bike, and then I'll be back. Roast for dinner tonight, Bobby. I got a roast. I had Chinese yesterday, and I got a 2.5 pound roast. It was $5 a pound, and it's nice. It's a London type of thing, so it's a good roast. They just had it on sale for $4.99, and I should have bought 5 of them, but my freezer's full, so I did that. Well, thank you, Phil. I appreciate that. Enjoy the games, everybody. Again, 2017 49ers and 31-20 Joe Burrow. So that's the picks for today. The free pick is Cincinnati. And then the Niners is more of an under game. So it's probably a better way to play it is under than, let's see the night. I think the game's a field goal game. I mean, I don't see Philly blowing them out. And again, you got to take the Giant game out of your system. It's the Giants with no quarterback. This is Frisco with the best defense and a very strong offense and a good coach who can't seem to finish the games. So I wouldn't be surprised if Frisco takes the lead. Philly, Hurts starts choking, and then, it ends up being close at the end. That would be my thought. Sort of like the Dallas game. It ended up 19-12 Frisco. It could be the same where Frisco kind of gets the lead, holds on, and then Philly scores late, and it's a close game, and I think that's what's going to happen. And then Cincy, they're not going to crush KC, but it'll be pretty high scoring, and I don't believe Mahomes can – there's no way he can be 100%. He might be 50 or 60. He'll be shot up. The kill will be after halftime how he looks, and he won't look too good because that's when – the emotion kind of gets done and the adrenaline goes away, and then he starts feeling it, and it's going to be hard. You cannot heal a high ankle sprain. It takes a month, unless you're some alien or something, or the Predator or something like that. All right, everybody, have a good day. I'm off, and enjoy, and good luck, everybody, and I will see you tomorrow and have some more good videos. I hope you like them. I'm just trying to add a little bit of flavor to the show. We talk about them. As I said, I showed you a couple of mistakes he made, which was walking away after calling the 3 and an 18. Not when you leave. That's when you stay. You kind of are looking for that. If you bust, then you leave. But if you hit the 3, I might play a few more hands. All right, everybody. Have a great day. Take care.